Recording đấy, em muốn thêm mặt đến thêm mặt đi nha.
Dạ không.
Sure. Hôm nay là Speaking em muốn support phần nào? Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 là
Dạ part 3.
Trước khi anh hỏi Part 3 nhé, thì anh sẽ lưu ý thông tin bởi vì chưa dạy. Thì cái Part 3 này nó có gọi là 3 frame. Cái frame số 1 là cái frame general knowledge, thường là những cái câu kiểu như có những loại nào. Part 2 là cái frame số 2 thường là mang chất là hỏi về ý kiến ấy. Và frame số 3 là những cái nó hơi abstract hơn một chút. Thì cái thông thường một cái người nói tốt ấy, thì sau khi người ta hỏi cái cái frame number 1 ấy, người sẽ nhảy sang cái frame số 3 ngay lập tức. Đấy. Và một cái nữa là khi độ vào giám khảo thì có một số người sẽ cứ để cho nói thôi, thì một số người sẽ hỏi nhiều hơn với tinh thần họ cắt được, họ nghe được cái cue của em rồi ấy, họ sẽ hỏi tiếp. Thì khi trường hợp đấy xảy ra nhé, thì đừng sợ nhiều quá về cái nhìn ngắt đấy, mà hãy cố gắng là giữ được cái nhịp trò chuyện bình thường. Đấy. Một số giám khảo khác thì người ta sẽ để cho mình nói thoải mái thôi, nhưng mà có một số giám khảo họ hỏi nhiều như vậy. Và cái part 1 ấy, là cái frame của general knowledge, là cái frame mà rất là dễ liệt kê. Thì em lưu ý rằng là ngay từ cô đấy phải hạn chế liệt kê hết mức có thể. Em cần add details, như là em đưa ra quan điểm cá nhân, em đánh giá cái hiệu quả, em lấy lý do, em lấy ví dụ. Đấy, là cực kỳ hạn chế liệt kê, bởi ngay từ đầu mà ấn tượng là liệt kê ấy, thì điểm rất là khó lên được nhá. Okay chưa?
Dạ.
Now let's talk about advertisements. Where in Vietnam can you find advertisements?
Well, I think that advertisement can be spotted everywhere in Vietnam, from big cities to small towns, because whenever they can place a banner, that will be an advertisement.
So why do people, put all of these advertisements everywhere instead of, just at certain places?
Well, I think the main aim of advertisement is to drill the image, drill the name of the brand into the customer's mind. So, advertisement being placed everywhere is a really good way to reinforce that image, the brand motto, into the viewer's mind, so they can inconsistently remember that brand.
Did you say inconsently, as in without consent?
Yeah.
Not quite sure if that's a real word. So let's talk more about advertisements that are shown to you without your consent. Do you think that there's anything that we can do about these intrusive advertisements?
Well, to be honest, there is nothing that we can do, in my opinion, because they appear everywhere. They appears everywhere, and it just naturally come into our mind.
Mm, But I'm not thinking about the ads that naturally spring that spring to mind. I'm talking about, let's say, like when you're watching YouTube videos and you're enjoying a particular part of a song, or a movie recap, and then you're bombarded with two ads back to back, with the first one being virtually inescapable. You cannot even skip it, right? So what do you think about the ways to deal with ads like that?
Okay, so there are two obvious ways. The first one is to upgrade your membership into YouTube Premium, into VIP one, or the second way, which sounds not really legal. I don't know whether it is legal or not, but just use the ad blocker app.
So let's talk about the first option, which is to essentially pay for membership or more premium services. Um, do you think that um, like young people should pay money for these services just to avoid ads?
Well, it depends on that person's
Mm,
purpose.
mm,
If they need to use that app on a daily basis for really important purposes, for example, to study, to listen to podcast, then I think pay upgrading to premium is a really good option.
thank you. Well, then, do you think that parents have to pay for these premium services to protect their children from ads on the internet?
Well, the specific mode of
Mm,
these apps, which are called the children mode,
mm,
which automatically prevent those kind of inappropriate apps. So parents shouldn't be worried about that.
mm. Well, then, is there anything that the government can do? Like, should they enact a policy or something like that to prevent ads from being shown to young children?
Uh, Definitely, government should introduce different kind of laws into ads check before they are being published for for everyone to watch, especially children, to avoid to avoid being exposed to inappropriate content.
Sure. Can you give me an example?
For example, kids shouldn't be shown violent games or being shown songs with inappropriate lines talk discussing about adult stuffs,
Hmm.
because these can negatively affect the children's mind.
Thank you. Let's talk about advertisement and business activities. What kinds of companies tend to invest lots of money in advertisements?
Well, I think every kind of companies invest in advertisement because being advertisement is a really good tool to establish the company's name into customers' mind. So yeah,
Well, then,
basically,
thank you. Do you think that, even small businesses should spend lots of money on advertisement for the purpose of promoting their brands and their products?
well, these days, thanks to the advancement of short video form, which doesn't require any money, as given that the company's post is high quality, I think it is one kind of advertisement which is free.
So even though they're not exactly like paying the platforms to, drive more online traffic to their videos, they still have to perhaps invest a bit of money
Yeah.
in, equipment and perhaps, some of the editors that are capable of putting these videos together. Do you
Yeah.
think that they should spend lots of more money, on these aspects?
Well, I think they should spend a lot of money on these aspects, um, because once the video is blown up on social media, then the revenue will cover up any kind of like previous investment.
Hmm. But that doesn't always happen, right? Even when
Yeah.
you have invested like tons of money in, let's say, a promotional campaign, perhaps your actual revenue is not exactly up to par. Hmm. But then, um, do you think that people tend to believe companies that invest lots of money in advertisement campaigns?
Well, I believe that advertising campaigns, which are paid a lot of money, are um, of higher quality, and a high quality advertising campaign is not that uh, revealing for everyone to know that it is advertising something. They draw out stories, really convincing stories for the customer to believe in the brand.
Mm, thank you. Right, that has been 10 minutes. So let me show you some of the notes. Hmm, okay. Now, right, so overall my impression was pretty positive because you were able to discuss at length many questions, many minus the first one. So for the very first question, I think that you kind of fumbled the ball there. You should have, let's say, it was okay for you to say everywhere, but of course, the better answer is always to specify a particular location, and then you give more details about that. So yeah, I mean, advertisements can be seen virtually everywhere as long as there are human communities. But I don't assume that you can find it, in a book, right? Or in a cave that is not that well known. So you can talk about the city, right? You can definitely see advertisements in urban areas, and then you can take examples, right? And then you can talk about the fact that you know at prominent locations, like the intersection of like two busy streets, only big brands like Grab Bike and Sangatan can actually afford to place like gigantic billboards with their brands and their ambassadors, because these areas are very expensive, right? So what I'm saying is that it's always better to leave a positive first impression, right, rather than kind of just answer the question and try to work up a more positive impression at the end. That's nothing that we can do. Perhaps it's theirs. Right? There's
Yeah,
nothing we can do. Apps versus ads. You had a slip there. Ads.
yeah.
Introduce laws. Did you say introduce law into or related to?
Mm, maybe into.
Hmm. The more appropriate preposition here would be related to.
Okay.
Advancement of short video form. I wonder if advancement is a sensible word choice. Advancement. Maybe not advancement, but perhaps the ubiquity or the popularity of short video, of the short video form, the short video form, or
Okay.
short videos. Hmm.
Short video platforms.
Platform.
Platform.
That doesn't sound natural. I'm
Okay.
gonna stand my ground here. Perhaps short videos or the short video form, or you can say short videos are in the ascendant. The ascendant. Short videos are, are in the ascendant. Essentially, they're on the rise, right? They're taking over the world. They're taking the internet by storm, right?
Okay.
Mm. All right. So that should be the discussion of the first group of speaking part three topics. Are you ready to move on to the next group?
Okay.
Now, let's talk about fashion. What types of clothing items are popular in Vietnam?
Well, I'm not a fashionista, so I cannot really have um, any knowledge relating to the outfits that are all the rage in Vietnam nowadays. But according to what I'm seeing, what I what I've came across on TikTok. I guess the Y2K type of clothing are really popular in Vietnam right now, especially for the youngsters.
What does that mean? Y2K?
Actually, as I've said before, I am not a fashionista or I don't really care about fashion, so I just mimic what other write on the hashtag. So I don't really understand what is Y2K. Maybe it refers to the year 2000.
Hmm, that sounds legit. Sure. So, what makes you think that Y2K clothes or fashion trends are popular in Vietnam?
Because 5/10 videos relating to OOTD outfit of the day videos that I come across while surfing TikTok every day is about Y2K.
Hmm.
There are a lot of people, a lot of models in like giving out tutorials on how to mix and match different types of Y2K clothes. And to be honest, I think that is a really nice trend because it embraces no it encourages youngsters to thrift from secondhand stores,
Hmm.
and this promotes like sustainable fashion.
Hmm. Now let's talk about fashion and people's personality. Do you think that a person's dressing style can reflect his or her personality?
Yes, because nowadays, because um, everyone are exposed to a lot of different trends from different countries, so they have their own choice of clothing, which represents their personality. For example, people that follows the Gothic um, way of dressing, they this is one way to express their belief for politics and different aspects in life. For example, the uh, problems, I don't know, news about the LGBTQ plus communities,
Thank
etc.
you. Well then, do you think that people often buy clothes because they help to reflect their personality, or are there any other reasons for your shopping decisions?
Well, I think it varies from person to person because everyone has their own choice of purchasing clothes. People, especially the ones who walk to work in creative jobs, tend to spend more money to buy clothes that reflect their belief or reflect their style, while people who work in more more formal workplaces, for example, teachers or officers, tend to go for more polite, more smart, like smarter satire.
Hmm. Let's talk about fashion and sustainability. What are some of the environmental issues that fashion trends cause?
Well, if my memory is right, I've come across several articles discussing about um, how Shane, one of the biggest retailers in the world, has caused from their fast fashion trend, which this has caused a lot of rubbish mountains creating from different from the starch cloth.
So, is there anything that ordinary people can do about that?
Well, I think people should um, can purchase clothes from second-hand shops, or just go to pages or groups where people pass their used clothes.
Hmm.
yeah, with really new condition and
Mm,
cheaper price to help to contribute to environment saving.
mm. Do you think that companies should adopt more environmentally friendly practices to, combat against, these detrimental impacts?
Well, yeah, companies uh, should adopt more environmental sustaining practices. However, the customer should also like be more uh, open to the increased price because in order to those campaign to be functional, the cost will climb up and the customer will have to should accept that, like the higher
Mm.
price but better quality and less environmentally damage.
So it takes two to tango then. It's not just the companies that need to change their practices, it's the customers who have to change their expectations as well.
Yeah.
Mm, do you think that the government can do anything about that?
Well, the I think for the government, they can have stricter assessment and stricter uh, certificates to for the um, for the companies for the manufacturer to abide by before publishing before selling.
Mm. So the government should impose stricter regulations.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm. Do you think that raising people's awareness is something that is within the grasp as far as government actions are concerned?
Yeah, and I think that it is really important and it is realistic nowadays because when I read the comments under a lot of fashion topics, uh, they are like people are boycotting KOLs who are promoting fast fashion, and there are there increasing amount of videos or ads where people uh, giving out tutorials on how to build a sustainable wardrobe with only necessary items, clothing items.
Mm. So, that reform towards more sustainable practices is very meaningful. But do you think that it's going to take a long or short period of time to actually become popular?
I think, yeah, it will take a period quite a long time
Thank you.
because yeah.
Good. So, um, a bit of a unexpected end, just to tie everything up. Well, um, I guess the great thing here was that you were able to maintain essentially the same type of fluency and mastery, um, as what you did in the first group of topics or questions. There were a couple of errors. Hashtag, can you pronounce that word again?
Hashtag.
Yeah, so you need the sh, not the s. It's hash, not hashtag.
Okay.
5 videos. So you were saying like 5 out of 10 videos about something. So that was actually a very nice chunk of information. But then you forgot that you was talking about 5 videos. So you ended
Yeah.
up saying 5 videos is about, to be are about.
Okay.
So you see, that's, I guess a prominent problem when like you put too much information after a noun, because after that, you might lose track of what you have already said, and then you use the wrong verb or the wrong, in this case, be like is or are, right? Everyone are exposed to or,
Is exposed.
yeah, it's a very tiny mistake, but I did notice that. Politics, the pronunciation was kind of off. One more time.
Politics.
Not Paul. Spend money to buy. I think it's a rather common error. I'm not quite sure if it's actually perceived as a mistake, but for me, it would be more natural for you to say, spend money on buying clothes, spend money on clothes, right? You clearly were trying to use words like environmentally friendly, environmentally sustainable. But you see, there was one mistake here. You actually had to use environmentally adverb rather than adjective. Okay.
Okay.
Environmentally sustain. I would go with sustainable rather than sustaining. Although I don't assume that a sustaining is wrong. It just sounds weird to my ears.
Okay.
Stricter certificates. I think that it's better to say stricter regulations and clearer guidelines. And you can also say, a more comprehensive. I actually learned this a while ago. A more comprehensive accreditation system. Essentially, this kind of system, accreditation system, the first time I came across this word, couldn't make head or tail of how to pronounce it. Accreditation. Good. I'm getting a hang of it. So a more comprehensive accreditation system would essentially tell you which company is actually environmentally friendly. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. Right. So this time around, you were able to get to grips with one of the teething problems, which was essentially giving a one-line answer to the first question in speaking part three. Right? And you were also able to just keep on discussing at length. I guess the next step for you would be to, demonstrate a higher level of accuracy.
Okay.
It's like the buzzword for like band 7 and above, because if you're unable to maintain a high level of accuracy, then at any given point, the examiner can take a score away from, your overall performance.
Okay.
Okay, well, that should be it for today then. Are you satisfied with this support session?
Yeah. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you for showing your face. But usually, people like to stay, what's that word again? Anonymous.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that animal. What's the noun for it? Anonym.
anonymous.
Something with the mati. But I'm gonna need to look that word up again. But essentially, the status of unknown is always more assuring for them.
Oh.
Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye.